I hope everybody is in the best of spirits to study today about the scope of income tax. So this is the first tax which we are going to cover, and the scope of income tax is going to take us towards the residence status of a person. Then how can we determine the residence status of a person? For example, if I'm going to tell about myself, I live in Pakistan, I'm a Pakistani resident. Like that, how are we going to determine a person is a UK resident or a non-UK resident? Non-UK resident, like he's a foreigner for UK. So for that, we have these three types of tests. First one is automatic overseas test. If that person is going to meet the automatic overseas test, what does this mean? It simply means that he is a non-UK resident. Overseas for UK. Second one is automatic UK test. If he meets this test, so he will be considered as a UK resident for that year, and he would have to pay income tax on for that particular year. Then a person who neither meets automatic overseas test nor he meets the UK test, so then he will be considered for the TIES test, and we are going to do these TIES tests in which there are certain conditions that will be met. Okay, so let's move forward from here. Now the first one, we are considering the automatic overseas test in which the person, if he will meet, we will call him the non-UK resident. The first condition, now let's understand it. What does this mean? Spend less than 16 days in that tax year. For example, if I talk about 2021, a person has spent only 14 days. Okay, it means that he's like falling over here and less than 16 days. Now we will check his previous status, like previously one of the three previous tax years what he have been. So if for the previous tax years in any 1 year he have been a resident, so this condition is now complete. The person will get qualified for this, right? So spent less than 16 days in that tax year previously if he was resident in UK for more than one of the three previous tax years. So just to make you understand a bit, when can this thing happen? Like a person has been resident, let's suppose for in 1819, he was the UK resident and now he is not, let's say. Or in 1920, he was the UK resident, he lived in UK. It means this, a person who is leaving UK. This is the condition you can also notice in the wordings of your MCQs. A person who is like, leaving UK. So you can say, okay, now he has spent less than 16 days because he's about to leave the United Kingdom. So that's what he will be considered as a non-UK resident. Okay. The second condition, if he has spent less than 46 days and his previous status is also being of non-UK. For example, I live in Pakistan. I'm like a non-UK resident, and I went to UK for let's say 40 days. So will I be considered a resident of UK? Obviously not. Okay. So that's why this condition will make me a non-UK resident. Okay, and you can say arriving in UK for the first time, or not the first time, but you can remember it like this. Okay, someone who is like arriving in the UK, and remember that you have to compare the previous status with these wordings are in second point as well. This non-UK resident, we are checking the one of the previous three taxes. Okay, the third condition is that works full-time overseas throughout the tax year. For example, they are taking here 2021. Okay, and the word is and does not, the word, I have just put the comma over here, but it is and. It should be complete. The condition should be complete and has been non-UK resident. Okay, works full-time overseas 2021 and does not spend more than 90 days. Now, let's say I works full time overseas means overseas for the UK. Let's suppose I work full time in Pakistan, okay, and doesn't spend more than 90 days in UK. I spend 80 days in UK, and I work here in Pakistan, so I'll be considered a non-UK resident. Okay, if there's a person who doesn't work full time, okay, and he has spent 100 days in UK, so he is not going to meet this automatic overseas test. All right, so just in order to remember the first point that says less than 16 days, you can remember it like this. And he should be like a UK resident for the previous tax years. Second, that says you less than 46 days. The person should be a non-UK resident. And the third one that says works full time overseas and does not spend more than 90 days. Okay? Like greater than 90 days condition should not be there. Let me put a cross like that. Okay. Or you can say less than 90 days and working full time overseas. So he will be considered as a non-UK resident. Okay. So we have done the first test. Now coming towards the second one, that is the automatic UK test. Okay, and automatic UK test also has three conditions. Okay, first, you will carry out the automatic overseas test. And if you feel and found out that the conditions are not being met, then the automatic UK test is going to be considered. Okay. So if we have seen our first condition, automatic, the first condition is that it spends 183 days makes up 6 months, like it's the half. It spends 183 days or more. So the first condition is greater than 180 days, 183 days. It spends 183 days or more in UK for that tax year. So he will be considered as a UK resident. Second condition says has a home in UK and no home overseas. So yes, he will be considered as a UK resident. Third one is that works full time. So you can see that your residence is being determined by where you spend your time. Basically, if I just put on the indicators that you have to see in all of these tests is the time where that individual is spending his time, where is he living, his home, okay, where is that home, and his working status. These are the determinants. Okay, works full time in UK, and I'm talking particularly over here about the tax for which we are doing this test. Okay. So here, let me close it. Now, if a person doesn't meet UK test, doesn't meet the overseas test, then he will be considered for the TIES test. Okay. Okay, there is a table, TIES table, that will be presented to you in your exam. It will be there in the formula sheet, so you don't need to learn those days and everything, just understand. Okay. Now the first tie that says, let me just go towards the next page. Okay, we are doing the ties test. All right. So now just listen to very carefully. Number 8 condition says that now just suppose that you are having the person in front of you and you want to determine any of his close family member is a UK resident. What do you mean by a close family member? Definition says your spouse is your close family member. Okay. Your child, if he is like under the age of 18. Okay. but it doesn't include your parents or your grandparents. All right. So in the MCQs, in the case, we have to look for these things, right? Okay. Any of his close family member is a UK resident. Okay, this is the first tie. We will say, okay, number one tie. Second tie says that his home available. So during that tax year, UK home, like his accommodation must be available over there in which the individual spends at least one night. If he has done so, so it means he's meeting the time. Okay. The second one says that substantive UK work. Okay. And what does this mean? UK work, it means like job and as well as the self-employment. Okay, this is the third type. Then we have the fourth type which says that he must spend more than 90 days, spend more than 90 days in the UK, either or both in the previous two tax years. We will say if we are considering for 2021, you will have to see 1890 and 1920 in previous two tax years. And there is the last condition that says it should be present in UK at midnight for the same or more days in that tax year or like in any other country. So present now, for who is the last condition? See, an individual like who was UK resident in the previous three tax years. Okay, like I said, someone who is leaving the UK. Okay, so he must determine whether any of the ties, like in A or D above, apply to him. Okay, so this is the additional tie for him that he must be present in UK at midnight for the same or more days in that tax year or in any other country. We are going to see how all of these ties will be applied on our questions. Okay, so the table that will be given to you in your exam, I'm just going to write out the days and all of the meanings, right? Okay. The first thing that the ties is considered is the tax, is the days in UK. Okay, we are going to begin with less than 16. Over here, we are going to determine his resident status. So we are looking whether he was previously resident or previously non-UK. Fine. Okay. Now, if he has spent less than 16 days, what do you think? Where is he going to fall? Less than 16 days was the condition in non-UK resident. Okay. So that's why we are going to say automatically non-resident. And same for this thing as well. Automatic non-resident. Previous. Okay. Let's move forward then. If he has spent between 16 and 45 days. Okay, let me just write down all of the days between 46 and 90, 91 and okay. Previously, if he has been, um, he will be classified as a resident if four or more ties meet. Okay, for 46 and 90, he would be resident if three UK ties over here. And if he's spending more than 183, so we have seen this in the automatic UK test, he will be considered as an automatically year two automatically. Okay. Now he will be considered okay in the second condition now. Between 16 and 45, if previously he has been resident, so we will go for the 4 times. Okay. But if previously he has not been a resident, so non non-UK resident. If he's spending 46 and 90 days, so we will consider him as a resident if 3 UK ties meet. Okay. And if previously he has been a non-UK resident, so we will call him a resident if 4 UK ties meet. Then for 91 and 20, now we will move it forward like and the UK ties are meet. Okay. This table will be given to you in the exam. You don't need to remember it. You just need to understand. So now let me provide you with some examples which we can do to test your knowledge and understanding. Okay, so let's do these questions and let's see what have we learned so far. Kathy spent 42 days in UK during 2021. He had not been previously been a resident in UK. He didn't work during the year 2021. So now see what he had not, the previous status is of non-resident in UK. And how many days has he spent? 42. These are less than what? Let's see, first of all, if we are going to consider the non-UK resident, is he meeting the second condition? It seems so. Okay, so it means that he is arriving in the UK. So he is arriving in UK. Okay, he satisfies automatic overseas test because he has spent, he is satisfying the overseas test second condition. Okay, so that's what we are going to consider him a non-UK resident for 2021. Got this thing? This is how all of the factors which we are going to look into our case studies or the MCQs. Second one, Mr. Y had not been previously resident. It means that previously he was a non-UK resident previously. Okay. Before she arrived on 6th April 2020, she spent 60 days, didn't work. Her only home is in UK. So again, she is arriving in UK. Okay, it's mentioned over here. So she is arriving in UK. She does not satisfy automatic overseas test, right? Is she meeting any of the condition in the automatic overseas test? This is the automatic overseas test. No, she's not. How many days she was spent? 60 days, right? So it's more than 46. Then the second, which we'll do, is the automatic UK test. So let's see. She has spent less than 183 days. So she does not satisfy. First of all, we look for the automatic overseas test. So no. Okay. Because she has spent more than 46 days. Okay. She doesn't work overseas. So she satisfies one of the automatic UK tests. Now look very carefully how. It's not only about the time. We have to look for the home. And where is her home? What is mentioned in the question? Her only home is in UK. So then she is automatic UK resident for the. So you have to look for these three determinants which I have: time, home, and the working status. This is what you have to look in your case study. Okay, moving forward now. This one. Pepsi had always been resident in UK before 2021, had always been a resident. Okay. Previously spent more than 90 days in UK, doesn't work overseas. Pepsi is married to Sprite, who is UKR. So her close family member is a UK resident. They own a house. Okay. Lives over there. Okay. On 6th April 2020, Pepsi bought an overseas apartment where she spent 285 days. Remaining 80 days were spent in UK house. So, first of all, let's go for the overseas test, the non-UK resident test. Okay. Now, just see what is she doing. Is she coming to UK or is she leaving? For that fiscal year, she has, like bought an apartment, and of course she's going to live over there. She spent 285 days. So this is leaving UK status. Okay, she does not satisfy any of the automatic overseas tests. Okay, because she spent like more than 16 days. Okay, because her previous status had been resident, so we are not going to look for the 46 days condition. We will be seeing for the 16 days, and she does not work overseas as it's also mentioned over here. So she doesn't meet the automatic overseas test. Okay. The second test we will do for the UK resident, does she meet this test? What do you think? She does not satisfy any of the automatic UK tests because she is spending more than 183 days where? Overseas. Okay, so she does not satisfy the UK test as well. Okay, she has an overseas home, she doesn't work in the UK. So for these conditions, we are going to do those sufficient ties tests. Okay, now how many ties is she meeting? The first one is that she has the close family. Okay, yes, she has a close family. So one tie is being met. Second, her accommodation, like is in UK, she is spending like one night at least. The second also being met. Okay, she has spent like more than 90 days in the UK, like in both of the previous tax years, yes. So she has met three ties. Okay. So now let's see how we are going to use this table. She spent the days like between 46 and 90 days in the like 80 days now she has spent in 2021, and previously she was a resident, so she will be considered a UK resident if she meets 3 UK ties, and yes, that has been the condition. She has met 3 UK ties. I'm just writing out the ties over here. The first tie that her with a close family, she married to Sprite. Yeah, this is the first tie that has been made. Second, this is the tie. Okay. And the third one, she has spent more than 90 days with the industry. Yes, she will be considered a UK resident. She will have to pay tax for that. Last one. You had not been previously allocated. Previous status of a non-UK resident. On 6th April 2020, he bought a house. Okay, this is the first condition, let's say. Okay, he was a non-UK, so he has just come up over there and spent 160 days. So he is, what shall we say to him? He is arriving in UK. He has an overseas house in which he spent the remainder of 20. Like if he spent 160 days here, so just subtract 365 from 160, the remaining one will be over there. So first of all, let's go for the automatic overseas tests. He's not meeting that OST. Why? Because has spent like more than 46 days over here. In UK, he has spent 160 days, so automatic overseas test cancelled. Then let's see that automatic UK test. No, it will also not be met because he has spent less than 183 days. Okay, so for that condition and other conditions as well, he's having an overseas leave. Okay, he doesn't work in the UK, so ties test is relevant. Now, how many days is he spending in UK? He is spending between here 121 and 182 days. He will be considered a UK. Okay, previously he was a non-UK resident. So now he will be considered a UK resident if he meets 2 UKs. So let's see his 2 ties. What can be those 2 ties? He's having, I think, only 1 tie. Okay, let's go for the ties test for the last time. Is his close family member like over there? No, we don't know about it. Available UK accommodation? Yes, he has the house. He doesn't work. He has not spent more than 90 days. Okay, so he will be considered a non-UK resident because he doesn't have the 2 ties. He's only meeting 1 tie, right? So I hope that you may have understood. If there have been any questions, you can inbox.